Go. Recording. All right. Hi, I'm Lacunae Glow, coming to you from Australia, and I'm talking today with the lovely Nymphya, who's in California. We have some really exciting news for you. We've been collaborating for quite a few months, maybe even more than 6 months, on a song called Song of Sirens. And today I'm going to interview Nymphya so that you can all get to know her amazing music and get to know her as an artist as well. How are you going today, Nymphya?
Great. How are you, Lacunae Glow? It's so great to be with you today in this conference halfway across the globe. It just blows my mind. I love it. And welcome to you all on Facebook Live too. I want to just say, please feel free to, write in the comments, and if we can get to any of your comments or questions, we will, for sure.
Yeah, thank you. And on that, just give us a thumbs up or a heart if you can hear us okay, and even let us know where you're listening from. It's really great. Even if we don't get to your comments straight away, we will get back to you. So thank you so much. So my music is a chill wave pop, and Nymphya and I actually met on a music group. So I really loved what she was doing and reached out to her and asked her if she wanted to collaborate, which she said yes, which was so cool, because often if you say, do you want to do something? And then it's like, yeah, cool. And then it kind of doesn't happen. And this collaboration has just been so much fun, and it's really been cool. So anyway, Nymphya, explain to us a little bit about yourself and your music.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. And I want to preface it before I go into that to reiterate what you just said, Lacunae Glow, because there's so many people that will say, yeah, that's great. And then when the rubber hits the road, nothing happens. And part of what I love about this collaboration is you really make stuff happen. You sent me the foundation of the song, and then I worked on it and I sent it back to you. And you love doing this so much. It's like my number one priority. And I think that's part of it, is where it means so much to us. And we got this incredible piece of art made over halfway around the world in the last 6 months. It's just been amazing, and I appreciate you so much. So my music is also pop, but it's Baroque pop, or also described as folktronica. And then I put the word ethereal in front of it because of my style of vocals. So ethereal Baroque pop, ethereal folktronica, art pop. Some similar artists to me would be people like Kate Bush or Bjork or Feist, or maybe some Annie Lennox, some Peter Gabriel, people who like those kinds of artists. Even Goldfrapp, Minute Taker, who's a UK artist who is also in our music collective. People like that are, if you like artists like that, you'll probably like my music. And one thing that I so treasure about our collaboration is I am a female solo singer-songwriter and producer. And so everything you hear on my CD, I'm laying in all the parts using loops or MIDI that I'm playing, or guitar that I'm playing, or percussion. And then I brought in my bass player, Ray Schaefer, as my bass maestro, and then he helps me with the mixing. Well, Lacunae Glow is similar. She's also a female singer-songwriter, producer, lays in the parts. So there aren't a lot of female solo producers running about. And I think that's something that I feel so inspired by, partnering with someone like Lacunae Glow and helping to empower females in a way to do this. because, you know, the music business, like any other business, has had a lot of gender disparities. So finding another really talented, amazing, smart female producer with a gorgeous voice and a similar ethos, it's just been heaven for me.
No, you're so sweet. And the feeling is so mutual as well. We're very lucky, I think. Yeah, just amazing. So tell us about your Dream Dance album. I guess, like, oh my God, when I saw your art cover, I just was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And that was kind of like, I thought, yep, this is, if we do a song of sirens, like, you know, it's going to be just awesome.
Yay! Thank you. I guess we're Mutual Admiration Society. Yeah, because the cover of my album, I'm actually sitting underwater. So it's like, when you approached me with this project, I want to write a song called Song of Sirens. My artist name is Nymphya. And Nymphya is based on the nymphs, the water nymphs, the wood nymphs. And that's based in Greek mythology, and the nymphs are nature spirits. And so, of course, I was immediately captured by writing a song about a sea nymph, which is another word for a mermaid or a siren. And my album, Dream Dance, I will say I do love the artwork so much. I worked with an amazing photographer here named Kirsten Letter, and we worked on the concept, and we put together this beautiful packaging because I want for everyone who buys the CD and has it and listens to it to have something that not only is the music an experience and brings a lot of beauty and magic to their life, but also the packaging itself. And then the inside the booklet, there's pictures that we took on the Skellig, which was the monastery island where we shot the music video off the southwest coast of Ireland, which is this incredibly powerful, beautiful spiritual place. So I thought really carefully about every little detail about this CD, and every single note in the CD has been placed by me into the timeline. And Shelley, or Lacunae Glow, I can call you Shelley too.
Yeah.
You know how like all-consuming that is, and the amount of time and care where literally every second is accounted for. And that's what Dream Dance is. It's this kind of a concept album that is art pop. It's artful music, but it's got pop underpinnings, but it's very eclectic, from kind of ambient sonic soundscapes to world dead can dance type music, to Bat for Lashes kinds of music with deep lyrics, and then some, you know, world kind of long, slow groove, chill music in the middle. And it takes you through this whole hero's journey, ending with this expansive song called Spiral, which is all about spiraling up to your next evolution. So yeah, I packed so much into this project. It took me 3 to 4 years to make.
Yeah.
Poured my heart and soul into it, really. Yeah.
It does. It takes so long, and I was really struck by the story and the beauty and just how unique your music is. I think because being independent, you can have the complete freedom to create however you want to, and it just makes it really special. So that's how I felt when I listened to your music. It's just so beautiful and unique, and I'm sure you've had those comments before.
Wow. Yeah, I have. Thank you. I would say one of the comments I treasure the most is when people say, I have never heard anything like this before, because I treasure that. I've always wanted to create music that's a new experience for people based on what has worked in the past, and great music that I love and inspires me, but then putting my particular stamp on it so that it's uniquely mine. And that's probably the number one thing I hear people say is, wow, I hear the influences of Kate Bush. I hear the influences of Portishead or Dead Can Dance. But I've never heard anything like it before. And that means so much to me. I can't tell you how much that means to me. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think part of it is because of maybe my process of the way I put music together. I'm not in a room with a band. Like the traditional way is you either sit with your instrument and you play through a whole song, and then you'll make a demo of just that, and then maybe hire a studio, session people to come in and flesh out the song. Maybe you hire an arranger, or maybe you arrange it yourself. I don't work that way. I work using the studio as my palette of paints, colors, sonic colors, and I use the loops and I slice them and I dice them and I pitch shift them and I alter them, and then I intermix that with real instruments, real acoustic instruments, or with MIDI keyboard instruments, and the whole thing becomes, it really is like a painting. And my writing process is within that context. I don't generally sit down and pick up my guitar and play a whole song through and write it that way and then record it. I write as I'm recording and finding the sounds and the sonic palette that I want. And I thought that might be why it sounds unlike other things, because the writing process is its own thing. You know what I mean?
I totally get you. Yeah. Like I'm always thinking about the frequencies of where everything's sitting, and I want to create like a total picture, and yeah, like I might even be inspired by a sound, and then I'll go, oh my God. And then I just, it's just like a process, and
yeah, like that one sound could be the spark for the entire song. I have the same thing. Like once I hear something, it can, like this whole piece of music could start unfolding in my head. So I actually can't imagine taking my guitar or sitting at the piano and deciding, oh, I think I'll write a song now, which I do, but I can't imagine it now that I have this, because this method to me is so much more inspiring. It's like you get all this fuel for your creative juice.
Yeah, totally. And I just wanted to say, for everyone that's listening, give us a little hello. And just to reiterate what Nymphya just said, is that because we create this art, and we have no idea when you're loving and listening to our music. So when we get, like, I encourage you to talk to us and leave us comments. We're both, like, really involved. We want to be engaged with you, and we just love hearing those kind of things, because there's nothing like it.
It's so true. I mean, I get PMs on my page a lot, multiple times a week. I get emails from you multiple times a week. I love it so much, because when you send questions or just a comment about the music and how you're experiencing it, or things that inspired you, and how do I even express how much that means to me? And I'm sure I can speak for both of us, because it's a two-way conversation that way, rather than a monologue. We want the dialogue is much more meaningful. Here's my piece of the communication, here's the music, and then you respond back, and it becomes this flow. It's extraordinary, and there's nothing that deep touches my soul more than hearing from people all over the world that they're listening to my music and they've just ordered my CD and they can't wait and they're so excited and they love it. I've been a performer my whole life, really. I mean, when I was 5 years old, I had this vision of singing on television and being a recording artist. And so that's what I'm doing. And I went from there. Like, I played in acoustic acts when I was in junior high, and then electric guitar. I started doing that in college, and I started playing in cover bands, rock and roll. And then I graduated. My first degree was in mechanical engineering.
Really?
Yeah, that's a long story. So I was like, oh my God, this sucks so bad. And so I went back to music school and studied classical music. And then that's when I launched my opera career. And then I had an a cappella group called Screaming Divas during that whole time. And we did, like, I opened for Todd Rundgren and Dana Carvey and George Benson, and we played for Hillary Clinton and all this stuff. Meanwhile, I'm singing opera, and I went to sing at New York City Opera and San Francisco Opera and San Francisco Symphony. And that was very exciting. And I learned, so much about music. And I was immersed in some of the world's greatest music that's ever been written, surrounded by some of the greatest singers. And so all those itches got scratched. And I had made an album before, but when technology caught up and the internet of being able to reach people caught up, that's when I said, okay, now I can do what I personally feel like I'm meant to be doing, which is writing, recording my own music. So all that was to say, there's nothing after all that experience, all these different, I have played from the diviest dives to some of the greatest concert halls and everything in between. And there's nothing that matches for me when I hear back from you about, I love your music. I can't even begin to describe it. There's just no comparison. It's the best.
That just gives me goosebumps, because it's like this whole journey that your whole life, it leads up to this moment in time, and now that we're just so blessed to be able to, you know, create independently, connect with people that are liking what we're doing. We're not just in one town, you know, playing big to people that
I don't want to do. I've been there and done that already. It's like, oh, please don't make me schlep my gear around to some place. You know, I'm going to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
And even this right now, having this interview and people being able to watch us all over the world, it's just amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, you and I are what, 14-hour air flight apart from each other? 20? I don't even know how long it takes to get to Australia from California. But yeah, and it's extraordinary. It is absolutely extraordinary. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even to give everyone a little bit of an idea of how we actually collaborated across the countries and across the internet is, so yeah, initially I created a framework. I had no idea whether Nymphya was going to like it. I wrote the first verse because I thought, well, I'll see if she likes it, if she likes it or not, and then uploaded the files into cloud-based files so she can then upload it into her system. And luckily, she really liked what I did.
How could I not? It's so beautiful. Sorry.
And then Nymphya took over and did the next verse, sent it back. Then we just kept going back and forth like this. So even that in itself is just, you know, so cool.
Amazing. Yeah, because basically, you know, when she uploads her files to the cloud file sharing, I download them, I import them into my digital workstation. And she has such a beautiful voice. You have such a beautiful voice. And I literally heard the opening and the first verse, and I was madly in love with the song. I was like, oh my gosh, this song, because you're such a good songwriter. So then I laid down my next verse and sent it back to her and you know, the lyrics came really quickly too. That was the other thing that was really fabulous about working on this Song of Sirens. You know, sometimes it's banging your head to get the lyrics or the melody even, or you get stuck. And for me, it was just this flow. Like the minute I heard your verse, I sat down and my lyrics for my verse just kind of came right out. And then I wrote the first bridge lyrics, and then I sent it to you, and then you wrote the second half lyrics. And then that's after we had that structure, then I started laying in more parts and kind of expanding the arrangement and sending it back for approval. Hey, what do you think of this direction? You know, and then bringing in Ray for adding bass. And then it was just another hundreds of hours of mixing it all. I mean, it's hundreds and hundreds. I don't even know how many hundreds. 800 hours. I don't even know. 500. I really don't know.
Yeah, And if you can give a shout out to the bassist and the drummer, because I haven't even met them yet, but it was so cool that Nymphya got her friends involved with putting the bass and the drums down. So
yeah, because there's really nothing like real drums, you know. So on this, I did a mix of some drum loops and then the real drums that we recorded at a studio in San Francisco. And then again, upload those files to the cloud file sharing. I download them into my digital workstation here and then edit the drums together in with the drum loops. And, you know, with drums, they're complicated, but they're also one of my very favorite parts of a song to put together because for me, the rhythm section is such the foundation of the song. And I've said this before, but when I first set out to do this project, my Dream Dance project, and I realized I'm not a bass player. I can play guitar. I'm not a great lead player, but I'm a good rhythm player. I can play keyboards. I can do all these other things. I cannot play bass. And bass is so foundational, which I learned when I was doing vocal arranging for my a cappella group. We would lay down the vocal bass part, like boom, 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 and you lay stuff over it. And I always had to start with the bass before I could arrange a whole song. And I thought, how am I going to do this? I can't fake the bass part. And that's when I contacted Ray, and ever since he's been I could not do this project without him. Just incredible. You know, usually what I do is I'll sing to him the way I want the bass part to be, and then he'll play it and be like, oh, that works, yeah, and then we'll lay it down, or he'll tweak it, maybe, hey, how about this? That's another collaborative thing too with him. So yeah, so I was so happy to be able to get real drums on this track because it's a whole other ball of wax, you know?
Yeah. It was just, everything was pretty magical how it all just fell into place. And like for me as well, when I was writing, I just literally, once I got your second verse back, just everything just flowed. I wrote it down once and then that was it. It was, you know, it was done. So when things happen like that, it's just like, oh wow, this is like some kind of divine inspiration, you know?
Yeah, well, I just feel like there's that whole connection. You and I both have this connection to, and we talked about this last week, to mythology, you know. And well, you were saying something and I really liked that. I've been thinking about it all week because there's a show on television called Siren. Did you know that?
I did. Yeah.
I started watching it, and of course it's kind of dark, and the mermaid is kind of this dangerous creature, which in mythology mermaids have been cast as the siren call, and if you get lured in, the sailors get pulled down to their death, right? And I loved how you were talking about how, well, there's, you know, you can also just look at a mermaid as a symbol of the feminine and the, you know, connection to our deep emotions, which, you know, water is the metaphor for our emotional world, for feminine beauty. And I found that really inspiring because I do like, that's another view that one could take of this powerful symbol in mythology. So, and I'm so drawn by mythology. So that's part of, for me, that was a big draw when you said, I'm writing a song called Song of Sirens. I was like, I'm in, you know?
Yeah, I think, like, because I was really inspired by, I was listening to this speech about the divine goddess within of, and how, you know, as a woman, we have the power to go to the deepest depths and then rise to the highest of the highs, and just how fascinating that is for a man to witness, and as in, you know, as a woman, because of the depth of emotion, and it, that being, you know, put into the concept of a mermaid, or you know, a nymph, a goddess, and when we created this song, we didn't even really discuss that was the whole subject
at all.
and
you know, yeah.
And it all came together that it was about this empowering, you know, amazement of, and a journey of you know, going where no one has ventured before, with the
Right, and that's where the bridge, you know, that's the structure. I got goosebumps again.
song.
That's the bridge, because the bridge is be with me beneath the sea. We will go where no one's ventured. Fly with me under the crashing, splashing foam, and float in peace and calm. And that part of the song builds this crescendo where, with, you know, symbols that represent the waves, and strings that, falling strings that represent falling of the waves, and this big crescendo of what it's like when you're on the surface of the ocean, which is rough. But then when you dive down, because then the bridge goes after that big crescendo, it goes to this beautiful, like, all these voices. I don't even, there's probably like 12 or 16 vocal tracks on this thing, of all these interweaving siren calls in the background. And I have them panning all around you so that as a listener, it feels like they're swimming around you. And then we're singing about being in blues and greens and azure, and, you know, just in your arms, it's peace and calm and being there. And that, to me, is what you're saying is, you know, once you can dive deep and get to the really good stuff, that is where you can then experience peace and connection. Intimacy really is what we're talking about here, right?
Yeah, just beautiful. I can't say anything better than that.
So I want to comment that you're right. We actually didn't even talk about that until this very moment, really. I mean, in that detail. When we wrote the song, I didn't come to you and say, oh, do you want to make this about the power of femininity and when we go deep? And we just, well, in a very feminine way, intuitively just went there. I'm just realizing that now. That's amazing.
Yeah, totally. Everything, yeah, it's just inspiration. I don't know where it comes from. It's like something greater than us. You can catch ideas, you can, you know, everyone just, when you create, be who you want to be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, if I were going to give one word of advice to anybody who wants to be an artist of any kind, that would be the number one thing. You know, just stick to your inner voice, or your calling, or your particular stamp on the world. I mean, my personal belief is that we're all these little nerve endings of the whole universe. Every one of us, every blade of grass, a mouse, a moth, you, me, and it, creative consciousness, wants us to express that. Whatever our nerve ending is, we're here to express that to the nth degree, in a way, you know, and doing harm to none, ideally, right? That's where things like Buddhism and religion come in, to help give people morality about how they express that. But yeah, and that's what we're here to do. I think that's why, going back to what I said before, why it's so rewarding on a deeper level than all those other projects that I did do, because I feel like this is me, you know, and Lacunae Glow is your expression of you. And that's why coming together and intertwining them with our siren voices was just, wow. And when I listen to the song, Lacunae Glow, I definitely feel like, wow, this is such a blend of Nymphya and Lacunae Glow music, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. And just the way, you know, there's parts in the song where our voices, and I know you've said this to me before, how they blend together. It's just so cool, you know.
It really, yeah. So it's just been pure joy working on this. And, you know, what I was thinking of doing, actually, I've made some notes about it, is doing like a song decoder, Facebook Live, like in a couple weeks, where we'll go to the digital workstation and I'll just isolate certain parts so that you can hear like the puzzle pieces, like listen to all the siren voices and hear how they intertwine. Just listen to the drums and how we laid those out, and and here's the opening and how that, and because I was doing that the other day going, wow, that's so much fun. I mean, I love to hear that. I'm a little bit of a musical geek, I'll admit, but I love it when other people do that for me and I get to hear parts and then you hear the whole mix and go, ooh, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't wait to, that's going to be so cool. Yeah, so because we're going to talk, today's all about Nymphya, and we'll talk about Lacunae Glow next session, and we'll put Nymphya's album in and links to things in the comments for you all. So check it out, buy it, support artists. Yeah, we do this for the love of the passion of it. I know Nymphya and I have had quite a lot of conversations around being an artist, and it's something that we both just feel like it's a passion that doesn't go away, and you feel compelled to create. And yeah, that it's a bit hard to explain, but this is kind of my calling. And yeah.
Me too. Yeah, and I do want to thank you for pointing that out. We're going to be doing one of these, one every week until up to the release of the single. Next week, we're going to be focusing on Lacunae Glow. So for all of you out there thinking, how come this is all about Nymphya? Because this week we're focusing a little bit more on me, and the next week we're going to focus on Lacunae Glow so you can find out more about her. Like, I'm realizing now that you didn't know I have a degree in mechanical engineering. So
yeah, exactly.
That you didn't know. Yeah, I have that. I studied energy medicine. I'm actually a certified medical intuitive in the state of California, but I don't practice it, but I use the energy medicine all the time in my life, in my music, to connect to subtle energies in an intuitive way. So yeah, I'm a little bit of a weirdo, I'll admit.
Oh, don't worry, I've been called a weirdo my whole life.
That's probably when we get together, so get along so well.
Own it.
Weirdos are way more fun.
I did actually think about making a t-shirt that just said weirdo on it.
I think you should, and then put Lacunae Glow on the back or something.
It's so cool. Yeah. Who wants to be normal? So boring.
I agree. And speaking of that, we are making a super amazingly beautiful and cool t-shirt for this song. You can only exclusively get this song with that. So we'll tell you more about that later and show you that as we have something to show you that's, like a real prototype. It's in the stages right now. So I'm excited by that too. Yeah.
Awesome. Did you, thank you so much for your time today, Nymphya. Did you want to add anything else today for everyone listening?
Boy, that's a good question. Well, I was going to say that, like I said, I love hearing from you, and I just got an email today from someone saying, hey, I'm going to listen to your music, put on headphones and listen to it as I fall asleep. And I'll get back to you tomorrow with, what I think. So always please email me and drop in. And if you're not on my email list, you can get free music by opting in to my email list. And we can paste the link here, but you can also just go to my Facebook page. And at the very top of the page is my official music video for the song Dream Dance, which was shot in Ireland at these sacred spots and at this old crumbling building here in California. And the link to download free music is there too. So, and then once you're on my email list, then you'll get email announcements of, stuff that's coming out or articles. I just had this really great long interview come out last week on this magazine called Last Day Deaf. I posted that on my page and I emailed you guys about it. So, and then you get some free music. So I did want to mention that one more time if you haven't done that yet. And then we can communicate, and then it's awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nymphya. We love you so much.
Thank you, Lacunae Glow. So stay tuned, everybody, for next week around the same time, I believe. Oh, no, I think we're doing it not on Monday. We'll have to check. But we're going to do another Facebook Live next week, focusing on the lovely and talented, amazing Lacunae Glow. So watch your feed for your Facebook Live, and we'll keep you posted as we're just counting down the weeks to the single release when you can get it.
Awesome. And I was just thinking just then, anyone that's listening that has anything that you want us to talk about, any topics, anything at all, just pop it in the comments and we'll do so. So thank you.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.
Bye. Bye.